Trump says specific tariff will be placed on semiconductor industry. Rate to be announced within week. We want to make our chips and semiconductors and other things in our country, Trump said when announcing the upcoming tariff. Trump talks semiconductor tariff rates during Sunday night AF1 gaggle. President Donald Trump spoke to the press aboard Air Force One late Sunday night, covering multiple topics including tariffs, his physical exam, Russia, the Masters, and more. President Donald Trump said semiconductors and chips imported into the United States will be hit with specific tariffs, adding that the rate for the items will be announced within the week. While speaking with reporters on Air Force One on Sunday night, Trump said the goal behind the specific tariff is to uncomplicate trade in the semiconductor sector. We wanted to uncomplicate it from a lot of other companies because we want to make our chips and semiconductors and other things in our country, Trump said while traveling back to Washington, D.C. from West Palm Beach.
A little bit about the semiconductor tariff that you posted on Truth Social today. What is the timeline for that? And I believe it was Jameson Greer said today that those will not be negotiable. Once those tariffs are in place, they're non-negotiable. Is that right?
But the tariffs will be in place in the not-distant future because, as you know, like we did with steel, like we did with automobiles, like we did with aluminum, which are now fully on, we'll be doing that with semiconductors, with chips, and numerous other things. And that'll take place in the very near future.
And all the things.
And what we did is we want to uncomplicate it from a lot of companies because that's really where it should be, ideally. And we wanted to uncomplicate it from a lot of other companies because we want to make our chips and semiconductors and other things in our country. And I will tell you, another one is pharmaceuticals, drugs and pharmaceuticals. We want to make our drugs in this country. And by placing a tariff on the companies that are not in this country, they're going to move into our country and we're going to have our drugs made in the United States. So that in case of war, in case of whatever, we're not relying on China and various other countries to supply us with drugs, which is not a good idea. And it'll happen very fast. It'll all happen very fast.
Do you know what rate the semiconductor tariff
I'm going to be announcing it over the next week.
White House trade chief says Trump has no plans to speak with Xi Jinping about tariff war. The questions on tariffs that will soon impact the semiconductor industry came after the president posted on Truth Social that the national security tariff investigations will be looking at semiconductors and the whole electronic supply chain. In January alone, the U.S. experienced a negative trade balance in the semiconductor sector of $322 million, exporting $521 million and importing $843 million, according to the Observatory of Economic Complexity. He also said he didn't announce an overall tariff exemption on electronics from China on Friday, stating that the products still face the existing 20% tariff, just not the reciprocal tariffs, which are now at 145%. In response, Beijing increased its own tariffs on U.S. imports to 125%.